It was supposed to be another lighthearted night on late-night TV, but things took a shocking turn when Tom Cruise appeared on Jimmy Kimmel Live to promote his upcoming blockbuster. The audience cheered as the superstar stepped onto the stage, but within minutes, tension was in the air. Jimmy opened with a joke about Cruise's past stunts, referencing a certain couch-jumping incident, and while the crowd laughed, Tom's expression turned cold. He replied with a forced chuckle, hinting that he'd moved past that phase, but Kimmel doubled down with another jab, this time about Scientology. That's when things began to unravel rapidly. Cruise leaned forward, staring Kimmel down as he defended his beliefs. The audience sensed the shift in mood, unsure whether they were watching an act or real tension unfold. Jimmy tried to steer the conversation back to the movie, but Tom wasn't letting go. What followed was an unprecedented on-air showdown that had both fans and producers stunned. As Jimmy reached for his cue cards, trying to regain control, Tom interrupted with a passionate monologue about respect, privacy, and how late-night hosts exploit celebrity personas for laughs. The room fell. Quiet. Cruise accused Kimmel of being a corporate puppet who tears down people to boost ratings. Jimmy laughed it off, assuming Tom was still in character, but it became increasingly clear that Cruise wasn't joking. "You don't know what I've sacrificed," he snapped, eyes narrowed. The audience shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The camera crew exchanged nervous glances as producers backstage debated cutting to commercial. Jimmy attempted to crack a joke to ease the tension, but Cruise slammed his hand on the armrest, interrupting him mid-sentence. "You think it's funny?" he asked. "You sit here, mocking people's faith, their work, their lives, and think it's all a big joke?" The studio went dead silent. It was no longer entertainment. It was confrontation. With mounting discomfort in the studio, Jimmy tried pivoting to a scripted skit they had planned, involving a spoof of Mission Impossible. But Tom refused. He crossed his arms, stating flatly that he wasn't here to play games. The audience gave a few awkward laughs, unsure if this was a cleverly orchestrated bit or genuine outrage. "I did this show as a favor," Tom said, "because I thought maybe we could talk about the film, about what really matters. But you're just another late-night clown with a smug smile." Jimmy, visibly annoyed now, asked, "Then why did you even come, Tom?" "That did it." Cruise stood up, glaring. "I came to speak truth, but clearly you're not interested in truth, just ratings." The tension escalated quickly. Jimmy stood, no longer hiding his frustration. "Don't come on my show and preach like it's Sunday service," he snapped. Audience members gasped. Security began moving closer to the stage. The director called for a commercial break, but neither man heard. Tom was now pacing, mic still live, ranting about Hollywood hypocrisy and the lack of respect for real performers. "You wouldn't last a day doing what I do," he shouted. "You think cracking jokes about me makes you relevant?" Jimmy, red-faced, responded, "This is comedy, Tom. You're not above being laughed at." At this point, the show's tone was unrecognizable. Viewers at home were glued to their screens while Twitter exploded with confusion. Some believed it was the most daring segment in late-night history, while others were convinced Cruise had suffered a breakdown. Meanwhile, staffers backstage pleaded with Cruise's team to intervene. His publicist reportedly shouted, "Get him out of there," as Jimmy finally signaled for security. As two stagehands approached, Tom turned toward the camera and said, "This is what truth gets you," escorted off set. Then he looked directly into the lens and smiled. The security guards hesitated, clearly uncomfortable about laying hands on one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Tom, sensing this, raised both hands in mock surrender. "Don't worry," he said. "I'll leave. But just remember, people are watching, they're waking up." His words hung in the air as he slowly walked off stage, leaving Jimmy stunned, the audience unsure whether to clap or stay silent. As Cruise exited, he passed a producer who mouthed, "What just happened?" Jimmy sat down, exhaled deeply, and tried to joke. Well, that escalated quickly. A few nervous laughs followed, but the mood had soured. The rest of the show was scrapped, replaced by a rerun. On social media, clips of the confrontation spread like wildfire. Some fans defended Cruise, praising his passion and sincerity. Others mocked his behavior, calling it a meltdown. Memes popped up within minutes, and hashtags like Cruise of Skimmel and Truth Bomb Tom trended globally. In the hours that followed, statements were released from both camps. Jimmy Kimmel Live issued a brief comment saying the segment did not go as planned, and thanked viewers for bearing with an unusual moment of live television. Cruise's rep released a more cryptic statement, saying Tom believes in truth, integrity, and meaningful dialogue, values that were clearly not shared tonight. Meanwhile, entertainment news shows scrambled to get guests who could analyze the fallout. Former co-stars, body language experts, and Hollywood insiders all weighed in. Some called it a publicity stunt for Cruise's film, while others were adamant it was a genuine clash of egos. Late-night TV hadn't seen a moment this dramatic since Letterman and Madonna's infamous interview. Journalists dissected every second of the footage, pointing out when Tom's demeanor changed, how Kimmel's body language shifted, and when the atmosphere turned toxic. Everyone had an opinion, but no one knew the full truth. Days later, Cruise was spotted in Paris attending a red carpet event, all smiles and seemingly unaffected. When asked by a reporter about the Kimmel incident, he paused, then said, "Sometimes, the truth makes people uncomfortable." The response only added fuel to the fire. Online conspiracy theories sprang up. Some claimed Cruise had orchestrated the meltdown to go viral, while others suggested it was a calculated move to break free from traditional Hollywood press cycles. Meanwhile, Jimmy addressed the incident, briefly in his next monologue, joking, "If you thought the Mission Impossible movies were intense, you should have seen the green room after Tom left." The audience laughed, but Kimmel's tone was guarded. Sources close to the show hinted that producers were now reviewing guest protocols, and that a list had unofficially been started to avoid similar disasters. Tom Cruise, however, remained unfazed, booking interviews with more serious platforms moving forward. As the entertainment world tried to move past the drama, a deeper conversation began to emerge about the blurred line between authenticity and performance, between satire and disrespect. Some celebrities sided with Cruise, suggesting that late-night TV had lost its charm and become a breeding ground for mockery. Others felt that Cruise overreacted and demonstrated a lack of humor and self-awareness. Cultural critics wrote op-eds debating whether fame had insulated the actor too deeply from the realities of modern media. Meanwhile, Jimmy's ratings for BF that night soared. Viewership spiked, clips were replayed across networks, and the show became a case study in media classes. Yet behind the scenes, crew members reportedly described the atmosphere as traumatized. No one expected the Cruise interview to descend into chaos. It raised questions about guest vetting, live broadcasting, and whether too much unscripted time with celebrities can backfire spectacularly. Public reaction remained split. Some die-hard Cruise fans insisted he had every right to defend his beliefs and demand respect. Others pointed out that celebrities choosing to appear on comedy shows should expect a level of roasting. It's part of the format. The debate spilled into podcasts, morning shows, and online forums. Memes continued to trend, with some depicting Cruise in sunglasses labeled Truth Warrior, and others showing Kimmel hiding under his desk. A parody skit from Saturday Night Live featuring a Cruise impersonator further fanned the flames. Both men had become unwitting symbols, Tom as the serious artist unwilling to be mocked, and Jimmy as the modern jester pushing boundaries. Neither made another comment publicly, but Hollywood insiders whispered that Cruise had canceled several other light-hearted appearances. Meanwhile, Kimmel reportedly received both hate mail and praise in equal measure. The rift between the two seemed permanent. No apology came from either side. Eventually, as all viral stories do, the chaos began to fade. New scandals, movie releases, and controversies took over the public's attention. Yet the moment remained iconic in entertainment history. A spontaneous confrontation that left audiences questioning the rules of late-night interviews and celebrity culture. Cruise returned to the spotlight with a major box office hit, hailed for his performance and work ethic. Jimmy resumed his comedic groove, cracking jokes and interviewing stars who stuck to the script. But the Cruise-Kimmel clash lingered as a cultural footnote, proof that even the most controlled environments can spiral when ego, ideology, and live cameras collide. Months later, a behind-the-scenes documentary teased unreleased footage from the night, promising a raw look at the incident. Whether it was marketing, damage control, or artistic reflection, no one could deny the moment's impact. And so, the legend of that fiery clash lived on, a testament to the unpredictable world of live television.